Now
Thank you
recording.
for joining us, Craig, for another wonderful episode of the Believe Me If You Don't podcast. So we're here today with a few of the regular people. We got Rack, we got Jordan, and we got Donkey. Kiwi is still not here. Probably.
Oh wait, is he not showing up? Or did you not ping him?
I mean, I
Pinged
pinged
everyone.
everyone, but I know y'all have this channel muted,
I
so
do not.
you're lying.
I had
don't
pinged.
actually. I
I
see
don't.
it every time.
Yeah, same.
It's very annoying, but I allow the annoyance to go through because
told-
I know
I-
I will forget about it.
I told Jaden, I was like, you probably want to mute this one just because it's gonna go off every time somebody talks in this one. But she's like, nah, I like to see when people say something in this chat. I was like, okay.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know what he's doing. He's either playing COD or WoW stuff. Probably raging at COD.
That's what he does best.
She is on classic, so
Okay.
I'll be joining soon.
Let's go. I tried to win Donkey a copy, but it hasn't worked out yet. So, anyways, yeah. So this episode, another random episode. It's called "The Argument of Why Donkey Just Likes to Be Opposite of Us." Essentially, we're going to argue. Well, let's discuss why Donkey thinks Man of Steele. Was there two Man of Steels?
no, not yet.
Just
The second one's
that
coming
one.
out.
Okay, so yeah, Man of Steel, the one that came out in what 17?
2013.
2013.
Damn, it was that long ago.
Yeah.
It was that long ago.
Jesus. All right, 2013. Yeah, with Henry Cavill versus Endgame, Avengers Endgame.
It's the stupidest comparison I've ever heard in my life.
So
I don't know how this is stupid. This makes logical sense to me.
It'll be hard to, I don't know, because Endgame is wrapping up basically a decade and a half long saga, and Man of Steel is a single movie. So there'll be very little comparisons of what it really does for DC in the Marvel, because that was a whole wrap up and shit. So I'll just have to put that in my mind of it being its own movie. So Donkey's going to give us a little synopsis because it's 2013. It was a great movie, I will say that. But yeah, you just have to give us a little rundown again what Man of Steel was.
It's basically the origin story of Superman in the new shit. And it starts off with his planet dying. After that, he's sent to Earth, and
Wait. Hold on.
mm-hmm.
Not that anyone's going to be really listening to us.
Spoiler tagging this?
Yeah, spoilers alert.
For
just
a movie from
Might be a
2013.
bit
Okay.
late for that.
Whatever. Maybe someone has seen it.
Yeah,
I
spoiler
mean,
alert.
All right, so
spoilers for Endgame too, I guess.
Yeah, spoilers for both of them, guys. If you
I
haven't
don't
seen
remember
them,
much
oh well.
about Endgame, to be honest. Anyways,
Yep, go.
So it starts off. You see Superman's father, and he's talking to the council, and the planet is basically about to explode. And he's telling them, "Give me control of the creation catalyst that they have, which is basically a skull with all their DNA put in there." And they stopped having real births, and all they had was synthetic births from this machine. It's called the Genesis something, whatever. And then General Zod comes in, who's the general of their army and military and all that, and he comes in and he wants to basically take over, do a coup, and he called the council obsolete. So they say no to him. Zod ends up killing one of the council members. Then the dad escapes. He goes back to his house. He sees his wife, and they have Superman ready. He's not Superman. His name is Kal-El, whatever. But he's ready to be shipped to
Someone call UPS.
to basically ship to freaking Earth. He gets the Genesis Catalyst, the Creation Catalyst, whatever, the skull. He puts it inside Superman's DNA, so his DNA is all people now. And then he's sent to Earth. Blah blah blah. You learn about how he rises up. He hides his power from everyone. He lets his dad die, his stepdad, because the dad said, "No, you cannot save me," and he dies to a tornado. And then Zod ends up finding him because he's been slowly. People have built a legend because he's slowly been using his powers to help people. Reporter ends up finding him, talking to him. Doesn't want to post a story anymore, but she posted something. But she's like, "I know who it is," but she won't do anything. And then Zod ends up finding him. He was imprisoned before. He was imprisoned by the council, but since the planet exploded when Superman left, that this is a horrible fucking synopsis because my brain is going everywhere.
You don't have to explain the entire thing. I'll just a little bit of background. So yeah,
Zod finds him. He wants to kill Superman, but he wants the catalyst back because he wants to repopulate Krypton and make the Kryptonian people again. And then he'll destroy Earth to do it because he doesn't care. All he cares about is helping Krypton and Kryptonians. And then Superman stops him. And then he has to end up killing him, and he doesn't want to. But Zod won't back down, and he's about to kill people with his laser vision that he learned. And Superman kills him. And that's it. GG's.
Wonderful. I like that.
Yep.
Yes, wonderful. Superman. Obviously, very iconic character in superheroes. I mean, he's been done like 300 times at this point. You know, it's amazing how someone can hide their secret identity behind glasses.
I mean, true.
You know, that's the biggest difference between DC, or one of the differences between DC and Marvel, it seems, is like DC likes to hide their identities for some reason, and it's very obvious to a common person to see who they are. But, you know, clearly the people in the show and the movies don't know them.
So Peter Parker was being Spider-Man in a suit, but he starts off with a sumo wrestler mask, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just a wrestler mask, not sumo wrestler, sorry.
Yeah.
And he works also taking photos.
Yeah.
And in impossible angles to get, and he's like, "How are you doing this?" I was like, "I know Superman." Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Batman, hey, I'm rich, guys. Oh, damn. I don't know. Okay.
Tony Stark.
He
he's the Batman.
He accepts it, though. He doesn't hide that he's Iron Man. Rack, Jordan, do y'all want to explain in-game? Because I'm sure you'd do better than I would.
Not really.
You really have to explain in-game, man? That one's pretty recent. That's got to be fresh in people's minds. There's so much that you'd have to explain because it's wrapping up like a decade worth of content.
Yep, sure is.
All right. Yep. Thanos won in Infinity War. They didn't like that very much. They tried to go back and get the stones. Turns out he used the stones to destroy the stones because he's just that much of a gigached. He just doesn't care. It's like, fuck you guys. You guys suck. I won. Not gonna let you.
Just died because he used them the first time, so they basically became unstable.
No, he just used the stones to destroy them. That's what happened whenever they went to the planet he was on, and it said it nearly killed him. That's why he was so banged up. And then Thor slices his head off.
It wasn't the axe that fucking damaged him. And it was Captain Marvel that killed him. No,
well, no, Thor killed him.
I don't
Thor chopped his head off.
Thor cut his head off. Like the axe messed him up, but it was in his chest.
Yeah.
And then when he used the stones to destroy the stones, it like blew him up basically. Like his whole like I don't remember what side the gauntlet was on, left or right, but whatever side the gauntlet was on was completely fucked. Yeah, so they couldn't do anything about it. And then time passed, and then Ant-Man came back because he was locked in the quantum realm, and he was like, hey, why don't we just time travel through the quantum realm to go back and get the stones? And they thought that was stupid, but then they presented the idea to Stark, and Stark didn't really want to risk anything because he had a daughter, and he had good stuff here, or good stuff in the current timeline. He didn't want to mess anything up, but because he's Tony Stark and he has the need to save people, he figures it out, and they go do it. They get all the stones from different times and everything. The only stipulation is that they have to return them back to where they were afterwards. And yeah, they get all the stones. There's like a big giga battle at the end of it all, and sadly Iron Man dies at the end because he uses his nanotechnology to take the stones off of the nano Infinity Gauntlet that they made to use them. And then he snaps and wipes out Thanos and his whole army, and that's it. And they win because Hulk snapped to bring everybody back that Thanos killed. So that's a very crappy synopsis, but that's the main gist of it.
Wonderful synopsis. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first little category, I guess we'll try to argue, what is the plot? You already described what it was about and stuff. So, from a believable standpoint, which one? I mean, don't you? Obviously, you're gonna have to argue why yours is more believable than Endgame, or
Because
interesting and thought provoking and shit like that. And like the highest point of it, why is it better than Endgames?
Okay. You want me to go first? Or you want to go first?
I mean, it's fine. We can go first.
You're the one spearheading this stupid argument, fucking donkey. So
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so it's just more believable because it's basically our world, and our planet could blow up one day. Who knows? But it's like the big bad guy coming in, but you do want to believe him in one way because what is it? Because our people are kind of shitty right now, as is. Like our council people, or Senate, whatever the fuck you want to call them, or elite.
mm-hmm.
So you kind of want to be on his side because he's like, these guys have fucked you for so long, and they didn't heed the warnings before. So why do you want them in power? And then he's imprisoned, and then you have Superman coming in because he wants to help everyone, and he doesn't even want to kill the general because he knows he's Kryptonian. While Thanos was just, I'm going to snap and take out Half-Life, not thinking that all populations have a population growth and they can exponentially grow no matter what. So the problem is just going to come back in 2 seconds, which in Endgame, he's doing that with his second self. He's like, oh, this is inevitable, so I'll just kill everything now. But I feel like if he would do that and he killed everything, then the Celestials would come out and be like, yeah, you can't do that. And they would just go back in time and stop him again. And that's it. I don't know, it felt more believable, the Superman shit versus alien guy that looks like a thumb, let's snap, and he's been building up for fucking 20 years. And they changed the way he looked and all that shit. I don't even know what his premise was in the beginning. You literally don't find out what he wants. You just like, he wants stones. Okay, why does he want stones? We don't know. He just wants stones. And then boom. That's all I got right now. So if you want to defend Endgame, that's fine.
Yeah.
It was just 3 hours of too long shit.
I mean, you're right. I mean, I see the point of that, but let's be honest. Superman is a baby back bitch, and yes, he finally did own up to it and just finally use his laser beam to kill shit. When he's God, like he should just straight up end the shit and just be done with it. But he never does it because he's too much of a pussy. And
I think he sees the good in everyone. He wants to help people.
That's cool.
Ends them.
That's cool, but as a superhero, you should, you see the issue and whatever measure you have to go through, you should do it. If it's going to save more than than what less or whatever. I don't know. He's such a boring character to me. And
right.
yes, Thanos. Ugh.
I'm gonna give my take here. All right. So I see where Donkey's coming from in his goofy ass fucking explanation. But
sorry, that wasn't better.
I will tell you this. I think Man of Steel sends better messages, like better moral messages than Endgame does. But I also feel like it's because they're two extraordinarily different movies. Like, Endgame is more of a spectacle because it's supposed to be, because it's, the conclusion to so much.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Man of Steel is obviously an origin story, again, for Superman, since he's had, I don't know how many fucking movies he had at that point, but a lot. But I do think that there's like a lot of great scenes that send a lot of good messages in Man of Steel, like like the scene where his dad dies. His dad doesn't want him to save him because he knows that he's going to be like, oh, well, his son is obviously a fucking weirdo and there's all this shit and then the world's going to treat him like garbage. Now, I always saw that scene as really dumb because he should have saved his dad.
He should have. 100% I agree he should have, but his dad would have been really pissed off.
But his dad is right. That's the thing, is like when you go back and watch the movie, his dad is right. Look at how the world treats him.
Yeah, like his shit, they want to imprison him.
His dad is right at the end of the day, so you can't really be mad at him because his dad knew that, yeah, he might be alive, but then like both his son and his family would be
hunted down,
subject to ridicule and like bullshit for the rest of their lives. So, it's thought provoking. There's not really too much thought provoking going on in Endgame. There's a couple of scenes that are really good that can make you think about shit. But
I'm sure if I watched it again, I might like different parts of it because I know I liked some parts of it. I liked Infinity War more overall.
Now, see that is something I can understand. That is something that there's arguments to be made for Infinity War being superior to Endgame.
Yeah,
so,
but I think it was just also slow. It's trying to build up so much for the end shit.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I just think that it's two very, very difficult movies to compare because of the context and what both movies are trying to accomplish. Two very different goals in mind. One's telling an origin story. Man of Steel
is just clear cut, versus Endgame is you have to accept time travel to fucking fix some shit.
I mean, that's fair, but you also have to look at it as like Man of Steel is an origin story and Endgame is a conclusion to so much.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much context behind Endgame. So I mean, and they try their best to make it make sense because, if you look at like the the Ant-Man
they broke
movies,
all their rules instantly upon time travel. They said once you go, you're fucked. And they're like, oh, we can just put it back where we took it. It's like, no, it's already gone, so you've already made a ripple.
No, the rule was all you have to do is put the stone back. When you take it, it causes a ripple, but when you put it back, it undoes the ripple. That's what the bald lady said. Her fucking name.
Sorcerer Supreme.
Sorcerer Supreme, yes. Before Doctor Strange became Sorcerer Supreme or whatever. Or no, not him. The other guy did. Wong.
No, it was him.
I thought
he
Wong
did, but then Wong
Supreme.
became Sorcerer
Wong becomes
Supreme.
it after.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't really think that they broke a lot of their rules. She basically said that because she told the Hulk, when you take a stone, it causes the ripple and it fucks everything up. But if you put it back, it's fine. It's not that big a deal.
Doesn't make sense to me, but
yeah, well, look, man, there's really only so much that they could have done in order to resolve the conflict. Time travel was basically their only option. Now, don't get me wrong. Time travel is rough for me in movies. Like I tend to not really care for it very much because things get real fucking hairy in time travel situations. I mean, we can look at World of Warcraft as a prime example. Fucking weirdo Warlords of Draenor shit, completely ass backwards. I don't even know what the hell that was.
They literally in their panel said, "Hey, come back with questions at our deep dive." And when you got to the deep dive, you asked the question and said, "Don't worry about it; it's all solved."
Yeah,
I was like, "Okay."
So, like I'm as skeptical of time travel as anybody else, but I feel like I'm willing to look past it because of how much they had to do in Endgame to wrap it up. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe that's just me not being as critical as I should be. And to be fair, I'm not an extraordinarily critical person when it comes to movies. I'm very easily entertained. It doesn't really take much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly the same. It's just sometimes there's that movie that's like, I really dislike this.
I mean, and that's totally fair. So
it's okay to be wrong. Rack, you want to wait?
Man of Steele's better.
I am just fucking vibing here.
Well, I mean, you've obviously I think we should all honestly at this point know a Superman thing. So, and from what Donkey explained, and then you've seen Endgame. So, overall perspective of Endgame, do you think you can compare or say it's a little bit better or whatever from just what he said?
I can only really go off of generalities here. Because the thing I've seen with DC movies and why I don't watch them is because they keep redoing the same story.
I mean, most
over
of them
and
are
over
garbage.
again. They do not move on.
No.
They do the story one time. They might try to move further on down the line, but eventually they're going to come back and redo the story with somebody new. Dark Knight, Superman, all that. Marvel has made a series that they've continually progressed a story with, for better or worse, in recent years. But it's moved on and it's evolved. They're not just repeating the same fucking thing here, right?
I mean, they did it with the Hulk a few times.
That first one doesn't even count.
What's crazy to me with that Hulk shit is I always thought that the guy who played in the Garfield live action movies was the guy. I don't know.
Live action movies?
Yeah, so you look up Garfield and the main actor. I thought, not Garfield, but like the guy who's a human who takes care of him, whatever.
Yeah, John.
I thought he was the guy that played in the Hulk, and that's not a thing.
No,
it was Eric Bana, and then it was what is it? Edward Norton. It was never the Garfield guy. So I feel like I don't know what's that term where you think you see something. It's like maybe you're like from a different fucking reality. I don't remember what it's called.
Mandela effect.
Mandela.
Yeah,
effect.
that. I feel like it's that because dead set. Like I have that shit in my mind. Like I've seen that movie, and I don't know why. How? It's just Garfield is Hulk. So I don't know. Maybe it was scrubbed from the internet and no one remembers it. I don't know because I just learned that Scooby Doo too. There is advertising for the cup, and in the scene they're talking about Burger King, and that's only the U.S. version. International version is KFC. I know that doesn't really add up, but I don't know.
It's just whoever got the rights to it.
Exactly. So it's just weird to me. Would you say his name Jonathan?
The character, yeah, John Arbuckle.
Okay. Yeah, that guy. He is Hulk.
Right.
Noted.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm weird. Sorry.
Your opinions aren't invalid, Donkey. I mean, they're opinions.
I
It's
mean,
fine.
that one's pretty invalid if it doesn't exist. So
Hey,
I
man.
don't think you can go from there.
No, it's no.
But can you imagine though?
Maybe,
It's like he played the Hulk. That'd be cool. I don't know.
maybe the Mandela effect is a very real thing.
Maybe that's why I have sleep paralysis all the time. Because I'm
Maybe
trying to get back.
trying to get back.
Maybe it's because you're tall. Do you ever think
Maybe.
about
I don't know. I don't think so. My brother doesn't ever have it, so
that?
Bro.
he's had it a few times, but not like me.
Anything else you want to add to that, Rec?
Not really have anything else I can add.
Fair enough. All right.
All right, cool.
What was you gonna say? What was it? You want to add something?
I got nothing.
All right.
Maybe just all watch Man of Steel come back to this. I don't know.
No, it's literally Superman.
We can come back to it when Man of Steel 2 rolls around, since they are
I'm
doing
down.
that. So
That's true.
I hope it's good. I really want DC to start getting good.
It will. It absolutely will. If James Gunn takes it seriously and he keeps the same vibes that he did with Suicide Squad, then yeah. Not that Suicide Squad was like an amazing movie, but for what it was a great movie.
you're talking about the new one, right? Not the,
Yeah. 100%.
'cause I've seen the original one, and yeah. I haven't seen the new one. Apparently it's good.
It is really funny.
Okay.
And it's just great.
We've got a weird little micro theory just like forming here. When would you say that Marvel has had sort of a downturn in this recent era?
Literally everything after Endgame.
I
And
don't agree with that.
Okay, okay.
I don't agree with
I know
that.
what he's going to say. The only reason I say is because they do not have a direction like they did with the Infinity Saga. Yes, some of them, like most of the shows, have been pretty great, above average and shit like that, but they have no direction just because they're trying to introduce characters that no one really knows about and that they've been in the comics forever, except for like Miss Marvel. So that's why I feel like a lot of people aren't connecting with these characters right now. And it's not to
Okay.
say that they...
I'm not
some of
asking
them-
what you think about everybody else's opinion. I'm asking yours, just
Yes.
your perspective.
Okay, yeah, definitely the beginning of this last phase.
Phase 4. Yeah.
So the start of it.
I think it went downhill after the final Nolan movie, Batman Nolan movie.
We're talking about Avengers right now. Marvel.
Yeah, I'm talking about. I'm
You said
I'm
DC.
asking
You
about
said
Marvel
DC.
here.
You said
Did
I?
DC.
Marvel.
I swear to God, I heard you say, when did DC start to go downhill?
He
Wait,
said
yeah,
Marvel.
did I is it Mandela effect?
No.
Like, did I hear?
I
No, he
swear to
literally
God,
said
I heard
Marvel.
DC. All
He
right,
said Marvel. I swear to God, he said Marvel.
Okay. I'm gonna say, for my part, I really liked WandaVision. Loki was good. Shang-Chi it felt like a standoff or a one-off, like he doesn't fit into everything else, even though I know he's supposed to. Whatever. Multiverse of Madness, it was okay. It was okay. That's all I can say for it. Like after first Doctor Strange saying that, and that's kind of a disappointment, but whatever.
That's fair.
Donkey or Jordan, do y'all have an opinion on this point?
Jordan, go first.
I mean, I think after Endgame, it was just going to naturally not be as impactful. Like all the movies and entertainment that come out are just not going to be as impactful.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed WandaVision as well, and Loki. I thought those were two extraordinary pieces of content and could stand up alongside Endgame, especially like the ending of Loki. That sets up a lot. So, like, we're seeing it now. So, sorry, spoilers for Loki, but you know how they talk to fucking the guy who becomes Kang the Destroyer. You know, that's setting up for all that, because that's going to be because he's going to be in. It's like after Secret Wars, right? Or is he a part of Secret Wars?
He's in the next Ant-Man movie.
Next Ant-Man movie, okay. But he's going to be like the main bad guy going forward now, right?
Yeah, so this saga is called the Multiverse Saga, and it's essentially about him.
Yeah. So, like,
it's what I know. So.
Right. So Loki did a lot of setup for that. WandaVision mainly just set up for multiverse, not really too much else. So, I mean, I guess it kind of led in, but I still really liked WandaVision on its own. Stupid good. But like I don't know if I want to say like everything started going downhill after Endgame because it was just kind of expected. You know what I mean? Anything they put out after Endgame is just going to not really have as much impact because now we're at the point where they're doing setup again. We're now in the waiting stages until we hit the next Endgame. You know what I mean? So obviously the movies, it's like you're coming down from a high. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But if I had to put a label on it, then yes, after Endgame is when things started to kind of dip in quality.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Donkey.
I think every phase had hit or miss movies.
Okay.
So, like, I really liked Iron Man 1. Iron Man 2, I didn't mind. Iron Man 3 was steam pile of shit. Thor 1 and 2, very, very bad in my opinion. I know other people disagree. Didn't care for them. I liked Ant-Man 1 more than Ant-Man 2, but I liked both. But Phase 4, there was, WandaVision loved. Loki, I loved. I liked Moon Knight. A little disappointed. I expected a lot more from it, but I still enjoyed it overall. I loved Ms. Marvel.
I forgot about What If. I enjoyed that as well.
Never seen What If.
It's not the greatest, but it was very interesting.
Yeah. I loved Ms. Marvel. That I would put up near Loki and WandaVision. It was crazy. It's just the characters and just feeling, just the connection. Like there was just a connection with that. It was just the simple story. I don't know. I really liked it. There was some hit or miss shit. You just got to get past it. It was like, yeah, everything's gonna have that. Shang-Chi didn't care for. I don't know. It was okay, but it got kind of weird, especially when you learn more about it, where it becomes space dragons, and that's why he has the bracers. Kind of weird.
Did you like Miss Pandaria?
Missed it, like World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
Mop was great, yeah.
Okay, the overall, not the classes and stuff. The theme.
I mean, it was fine, yeah. I mean, the mystical shit was probably the most interesting shit for the Shang-Chi. Like the build up, but it's like, how many secret organizations are we gonna fucking have? We got Black Widow organization. We got this organization. We had S.H.I.E.L.D. We had Hydra. All these things within things. I don't know, but that being said, Black Widow is probably one of my favorite Marvel movies to date. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but that was a lot. But like, I don't know, Phase 4, I've liked a lot of their stuff, but I've disliked a lot of their stuff.
Okay. I want to present the really shitty working of this theory then.
Everyone likes different shit.
No.
Okay.
Jared Leto.
Oh no.
You know exactly where I'm going with this.
It's Morbin time?
Oh god.
When did it release? Right in the middle of all this stuff. It's like the demarcation line between what we considered what was good for this phase and what's not good.
But Miss Marvel came out after Morbius, right? Or no?
Yeah, it did. But that's that's just you.
I hate She-Hulk. Here. She-Hulk is fucking tragic.
I don't know.
It came out right before Multiverse of Madness.
I mean, I hate that movie too. Don't even get me started on that one.
And what came out before it was the good parts.
I mean, I didn't like the third Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I like the first two a lot more than the third one.
Anywho, the stuff he was in for DC is also known to be not good.
Yeah, it's
And it doesn't do well in general after he's there. So he might be the key to this.
I mean, Jared Leto is a fucking freak, so absolute nutcase.
He might have a curse attached to him.
He might.
That's the thing. I know this is a wild take. Morbius wasn't
Stop. Oh, God.
I liked him better than the Mac guy in it. I was really hyped for Morbius. It didn't live up to the hype. It was just its own thing. If it never happened,
You want to know why
happened.
it sucked? It's Sony.
Yeah, I mean, Venom 1 is great. Venom 2,
Yeah, but it's still not. If Kevin Feige and Marvel
took
over,
yeah,
then it would have been, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, look at what they're going with Blade right now.
Yeah, well.
So I think it's just a hard sell.
It's literally Sony.
But
I think Jared Leto is going to be hard sell.
He is a hard sell because he's fucking nuts. And he's a bad person.
Jesus.
He's just a weird. Yeah.
Great music, though. 30 Seconds to Mars, lit.
I can't listen to his music anymore after all the shit I learned about him, dude. Do you not know? I'm gonna link you a video. You need to know.
I don't like what he sent to his people when he was during Joker shit.
There's a no. Don't worry about it. Conversation for a different day.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we've gone off topic just a little.
Believe me,
we were really unfocused.
I mean, yeah, 100%.
We
were
Believe me if you don't.
Yes. I don't know. It's very hard to compare because, like what Jordan was saying, it's very hard to compare these two because one's a conclusion, one's an origin story, and stuff like that. So, if DC ever gets their shit together and combines and goes to Justice League and gets to their end game, I don't even know what it would be called.
It should be Justice League, but we had that garbage.
Let's not talk about that, dude. Please.
Well, I mean, like their version of Endgame. When they get not their Avengers, but yes. But by that time, Henry Cavill will be 100 years old. So
true.
Okay, well, one music. I feel like Endgame 100% wins with Portals versus I don't even remember anything in Superman.
It was the same song like 7 times.
Okay, so
it was epic as shit by Hans Zimmer because he does everything for everyone.
Yeah,
but it was the same song the whole time. Yeah,
we'll go with Endgame and that because also anyone knows, well, not that you're gonna know. I walked out to Portals for my wedding, so it's obviously pretty important to me and epic.
I understood. Yeah. I was talking to Jordan. I was like, "Do you think he did some Avengers shit?" And he was like, "No, there's no way." And then all of a sudden it comes on. He's like, "Are you fucking serious right now?"
As soon as I heard the first couple of notes, I was like, "Oh, you motherfucker!" And you know what, dude? That was a good touch. I like that.
That's awesome. I thought
it was hard to hear your speech from all the way in the back.
So. Oh, yeah.
Y'all would have teared up. So it's probably that you didn't. I was struggling not to.
Yeah, dude, that DJ, horrible. He was apparently. I didn't even learn this until a couple days ago. He only showed up an hour before the wedding. He wasn't prepared. Didn't have all the songs and stuff.
We don't want this getting back.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna mention his name.
You can edit this out.
Yeah, edit it out.
You just end it.
You'll have to edit this out, but yeah.
Yeah, he was terrible. So yeah, we obviously I don't even know the timing, how long we've gone on. So just we went off topic on this arguing the Man of Steel and Endgame, but I think they definitely have a place for anybody who likes the superhero movie. I don't remember any of the old Superman movies. Like, so
Yeah, I never cared for him.
You
This
know.
is the first time I cared about Superman. So
I think there's only like one or two of them that's good, and I don't even remember. So.
yeah, like with Reeves, he was probably the best Superman, but Cavill can rival him if they continue and stuff like that. So
yeah, agreed.
but I think both movies have good things and bad things about them. Yes, I would say Endgame has more little things that you can critique just because it is a conclusion and they're trying to wrap everything up and they're almost making up more versus Superman with an origin story. It's pretty hard to mess up a beginning. So, acting. Okay, the last thing, acting characters. I mean, there wasn't a lot in Superman versus Endgame, but I think
Zod, Lois Lane, and Cavill were great. And the General was good too.
who do you think is the worst Marvel actor for their superhero that they portray?
Mm-hmm.
Who I guess doesn't really
She-Hulk?
you don't okay, that doesn't
Come on,
Does that
man.
count?
No.
Does that count? Okay.
No.
Well,
the Infinity Saga, I'm talking about them.
okay.
I know a lot of people don't like Brie Larson for not Miss Marvel, but Captain Marvel.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I can.
but-
Yeah, I mean that movie wasn't great, so. I
Well,
can
not
agree
even
with
the
that.
movie. I'm just talking about like as actresses, you don't really see them as them, and it's very hard for you to get behind that character.
I don't really have an opinion. Everybody is either incredible or like not bad to me.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
just don't-
I definitely
I
can
Brie
see
Larson
the
tends to be
Captain
like-
Marvel one.
She tends to be like the most point of controversy that I see when people discuss who they would have acting in her stead. So, but I don't really have an opinion when it comes to that. I don't really know.
Does it have to be just superheroes, or can it be like villains and shit?
Yeah, any of the Marvel actors and actresses.
In the Infinity.
Infinity is yeah.
Hmm.
You got one, Rack?
I like what he does, but Paul Rudd as Ant-Man feels off.
I couldn't disagree more.
I love Paul Rudd, dude.
Like,
Paul-
I
he's-
love
yeah,
Paul
but
Rudd, and I like Ant-Man. I don't know.
it doesn't feel like Ant-Man for some reason.
Paul Rudd is such a jackass, and the way he delivers his lines is just amazing. Like the fucking.
I mean, but yeah, I
he's just. I don't know, Rack. I have to disagree, but entitled to your opinion. It's fine.
But that's it. All the others feel right to me. Disappointed that Ultron was a one-off. still hold
He
that
could
shit.
have. He could have been so cool.
That is fair. A lot of people do shit on Age of Ultron, so I thought it was good, but
It's good.
I can't
One
agree.
time, like what the fuck?
I can agree that it would have been cool to see him more. So
Well, if you've watched What If too, if they would kind of went, he definitely provokes a lot more curiosity of what they could have dove more into.
Yes.
So
I would have rather have had Ultron be the villain than Thanos.
But with what they set up with What If, it was actually a very thin margin. So I guess it had to be that way.
yeah,
Because it's either they win or he destroys everything. The
Yeah.
entire universe. Based on one, like 5 minutes of time.
I think they should do that honestly. Instead of freaking good guys winning, like I understand in Infinity War, it's like, oh, we are let down. That he actually did win for this few seconds. Just I want to see the villain version where they win. I know it'll probably never come to the theaters or anything like that because they just have this superhero mentality that they have to win and shit. They have to struggle, but eventually they prevail. It's just, why can't we see the villains win just one time? It's made up. Just let them win. See what they do.
No, it's not a satisfying conclusion.
You don't want to see like what the chaos that they could truly.
It would have
Get
to
to?
be. It would have to be like a separate series.
Well, yeah.
They can't just like imagine if they just had Endgame happen and then like at the end, like I don't know, like Thanos just rips Tony Stark's arm off or some shit and takes the fucking stones back and snaps and then just kills fucking everybody and that's it. And then the credits
That would
roll.
be-
Like-
I would be furious, but like, man, I could really see that happening though.
I mean, I thought it was wild when they did it at the end of Infinity War.
Oh
So,
yeah, that it's just like
that was
damn.
some shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
to leave us on a cliffhanger like that. Yeah, it was very shocking.
Yeah.
But to know that they were gonna make, end game.
well, of course you knew that in some way they were gonna come back and it was gonna be fine. But still, at the moment, it was like, holy shit, they really do that. Like, so
Yeah. Donkey, I don't think you ever answered your character person.
Yeah, I can't think of one, to be honest. I think they're all fit pretty good.
Right, so She-Hulk is the best character ever.
number one.
known.
You said Infinity Saga, not that shit.
We know this whole episode is really to get Donkey to admit that he loves She-Hulk.
It's really
He's got She-Hulk background on his
worst
computer.
series that Marvel has put out.
You have her twerking, don't you? As your background.
Have who?
Her twerking.
Okay, we're no longer friends. We're done.
Well, all right.
Should've
Was
been-
anyone?
That should have been the table that we were at instead of what table were we at again at the wedding?
I have no clue.
I don't remember, but our label should have been She-Hulk twerking.
Wasn't it Asgard or something like that?
I think we had. It might
No, I
have been
thought y'all were
Asgard.
nowhere.
Were we nowhere?
Nowhere was up top.
Oh,
We should have had She-Hulk twerking though. That would have been really funny. I'm sure Donkey would have appreciated that.
he would have left immediately.
Where am I gonna go? I'm gonna go talk to the horses and see if they'll give me a ride.
Oh, maybe.
The horse would ride him.
True. All right. Well, is there anything else y'all want to add to this wonderful episode that
Man, it
got
still
way
better
off?
than Endgame.
Donkey's dumb. Both movies are great. Can't really be compared. I don't even know why this conversation had to be brought up, but I'm glad it sparked.
We needed a
conversation
topic,
about
to be
other
honest.
things.
Yeah, we
So-
definitely needed a topic because I have no clue what we're doing now. So we're here.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was a fun romp.
yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Rack, you got anything you want to say? You want to add something?
We'll define our focus at some point.
Big wieners.
Big old penises. So yeah, thank you for again joining us on another wonderful episode of the Believe Me You Don't podcast. I don't remember our socials off the top of my head. So yeah, follow us there when they come out on our
Number one
Spotify.
focus podcast on the platform where we never deviate from the topic.
100%.
Our
Believe me
Spotify,
if you don't.
Twitter, YouTube, Anchor. But yeah, thank you for joining us again. Remember, you can continue to believe us. Guys, you're supposed to finish it.
If you
If you
don't.
don't,
Thank you.
If you don't.